Hello everyone, I'm John aka Jalex Gamer, and today we're doing a thing. Now, this thing is very soon I'm heading back to school, so I might not be able to record quite as much. So, to make up for the possible lack of videos, and don't worry, it's probably gonna get down to about a video every other day maybe. I'm gonna try my hardest to keep up with my schoolwork and still put out a video every day. But if the videos are just too much, I'm gonna make it every other day. I'm gonna try my absolute hardest to keep doing it. And if it gets to the point where I can't even keep up with a video every other day, then I'm just gonna go full on a hiatus, and I'll have to come back next summer when I'm more available to record. So today we're doing a thing, which is me playing Ancient Weapons, which is a fantabulous game, I might add. I'm going to link to it in the description, but I'm going to play this, and I have a bunch of topics here, a few questions that people wanted to ask me. I got popcorn, and I got juice. And I'm just gonna run this thing out until I'm gonna run Bandicam out until I can no longer record, which is probably gonna take about 2 hours. Or if I just run out of things to say, then I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna call it here. But that's about the whole gist of it. Now, a quick thing about this game is I love this game. You can click to browse through destinies, which are different types of classes. I'm really gonna go with the one that's gonna help me stay alive the longest, which would be White Robe and Vampire. The best part about this game is there's no story to it. Can't remember how to choose my destiny. This is mostly going to be unedited, by the way. There we go. Use WASD to move and mouse to aim and click to attack. Now, this is going to be mostly unedited unless I have a major lapse of talking. So yeah, it's basically probably going to be an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours if I can go that long, with just me talking non-stop. Which I know might not seem like a lot, considering there are other people on YouTube that can go for 8 hours at a time. And I've only seen one person actually able to do that. But yeah, my favorite part about this game is there's absolutely no story to it. There's just no story. None at all. And really, it's a better love story than Arch Nellico 2. Yeah, you guys thought I was gonna go with that lame, better love story than Twilight bullshit. Hell no, I'm better than that. Fuck that. I brought up Arch Nellico 2. Now, this game can be kind of slow, but I give Arch Nellico 2 some crap, but really, it had kind of a good love story. Really, and just a good story in general. And in fact is actually one of my favorite games. My favorite game probably, I don't know, I have to think about it a little bit, but really it's a fantastic game, and I like the love story because there isn't one story to it. There's 3 possible stories depending on, and forgive if I say a name wrong, I think Croy, who is the main protagonist, and you can have him have a love story with any of the 3 Raventails, which are sort of like female sorcerer people. They they sort of sing, and as they sing, they cast magic, and it's all very interesting. Gameplay is very original, I've got to say, from what I've seen. I mean, I'm sure there could have been a game that came before it that had similar, but I don't know. I'm just going off based on what I know, and really, it's very interesting. And any of the three Raven Tales, which there's Lady Cloche, Luca, and Jackley, and how you level them up is you go through a series of dives, air quote dives, and through the dives you sort of, I guess, get to know the character better as a person throughout the game. And the better you get to know each other, the more powerful their magic becomes, and they'll even learn new magic and stuff like that. And so, depending on who you level up to a certain level through the dives, whether it be Lady Cloche, Jackley, or Luca, you will. Oh, that was the dungeon end. Crap. But oh shit. Oh, where was I? Yeah, and once you get to a certain level, there's no going back, and you have to talk to the characters to be able to reach new levels, and you have to do a bunch of stuff. And so it's all just very interesting, really. And depending on who you level up to a certain level, I think it's like level 7 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I've played the game, actually. Because I had borrowed it off of my current girlfriend at that time. We later split up, and I returned it back to her just because I didn't feel like keeping her game, and I actually kind of regret not finishing it because I really wanted to know how it ended. I never got a chance to finish it. I think I was right before the last boss, and I gave it back to her, which was a mistake on my part. I could have returned it to her at a different time, but we were going through some fights, and I didn't want to deal with it. But anyway, I never really thought we were gonna make up, and become friends, which we sort of did, but sort of didn't, and it's all very confusing. I'm not gonna worry you guys about that. And really, I think I dove into Jackley the most, just because I ended up liking her character better, even though the beginning love story between Luca and Croy I did like it. I mean, it wasn't super fantastic. I mean, it was just that they were childhood friends and sort of ended up together, and they never really saw each other a lot because Croy worked for a sort of police force, I guess, or something like that. And they just never really saw each other a whole lot. And finally he came around, and, you know, and spoiler warning, she later admitted that she said she never really did love him. She just sort of used him because she thought that by using him she could get into the castle where he worked, sort of, and so that she could go and rescue her sister, which was a Raventail that went insane, and they locked her up. Because Raventails have a gene in their minds that at some points they go insane and can start wrecking shit up with their magic, and it's all very cool, really. I won't stop stealing these weapons, motherfucker. But anyway, yeah, and yeah, that really did make me angry. I was like, what? I honestly got slightly upset, and like at that point, anytime Luca said anything, I was just like, shut the fuck up, Luca. You know, yeah, man, that was a move I did not expect for the game designers to take, and I'm not so sure I liked it, but it was still a good game. It was a fantastic game. I mean, definitely not my favorite game ever, which incidentally is one of the questions that I got. Popcorn. I hope that doesn't go stale. That would really suck. But yeah, and yeah, my nose itches. It was a really cool game, and oh, but yeah, and depending on, I keep getting sidetracked, which might be a good thing or might be a bad thing, because you know, I do have probably a while to go on this, so you know, it's probably a good thing that if I get sidetracked, because then I'll be able to talk longer. But where was I? Oh yeah, the love stories. Depending on which one you dove into more, you could unlock a love story for all three of them, and if you didn't dive into any of them, like to the point where you would unlock their love story, you would unlock Coconuts ending, because there was a ton of characters in that game, I swear. There was Coconut, Amira, or Amira, or something like that. Likely is Shun, Coconut. I think I already mentioned Coconut. Okay, I'm gonna count on my finger. Hold up. Coconut, Leglius, Shun, Croy, 4 Guardians, I believe, and then Jackley, Luca, and Lady Cloche. So about 8 characters, or 7 or 8 characters, I believe, which is actually quite a bit. I mean, not compared to other RPG games, but you know, considering you could only have 4 people in your party at a time, which I found weird. And I didn't get why they gave you like 4 Guardians to choose from. It was weird. Although they did all have their own special advantage, so that was good. Like, I think Shun had an extreme amount of defense, because the whole point of the game was that to do real damage, you needed your Raventails to sing, because they would sing, and the longer they sang, the stronger the magic, the stronger the magic they were going to cast was. Now, the job of your Guardians was to guard the Raventails so that they don't get hit, because the more they get hit, the less damage they deal, and they have low health, and no defense, and no way of defending themselves. So if they died, then, you know, it was pretty bad, because they did the most damage. Of course, if you leveled up enough, you could just blow right through the game with just Guardians, just because you would be so powerful, but whatever. Really, for bosses is when Raventails came in handy, because oh my god. And I mean, you had some magic where you could just deal, you know, you could deal upwards of 30,000 damage, and it was all fantastic. I seriously love that game. I'm actually curious about finding another one, but finding another copy, and finding a copy of Arch Anellico 1 and 3 possibly. Although I heard that Arch Anellico 3 was a PS3 release only, so I would be out of luck because I have an Xbox 360. But really, I would be interested in finding Arch Anellico 2 again, namely. Well, the problem is, apparently, it's very hard to find. Like, extremely hard. Just because, I don't know. I guess it's just such an obscure title that no one really knows about it in the Americas. I don't know, I mean, all I know is Annie, well, I shouldn't say her name, the person I borrowed it from said she had a hard time finding it. It was like $100 when she finally did find it, and I was like, wow. So I guess it was a rare game, or people really loved it. I don't know, but I don't know, if I ever came into a gratuitous amount of money, I might invest in possibly finding another copy and buying it. That is, if my PS2 holds out that long. Because yeah, I like that game. And I would suggest you guys go and play it maybe, but I find it unlikely that any of you guys even know what it is, much less how to find it, and you know, all that schniz. Really, it's just sort of like an obscure title, and it's kind of sort of anime-ish. So, oh shit. Oh Jesus. That was God. Oh God, I'm dying. Never mind. I had to hack up a lung. Or rather, a popcorn kernel. But anyway. But, I can't remember where I was saying. Anyway. But yes, Artonelico is a very good game. Not my favorite game. My favorite game would probably be, Shadow of the Colossus, definitely. And I know people will hear me say that and be like, well, you're just another one of those guys who blindly follows Shadow of the Colossus because it's popular, and I don't. I actually seriously enjoy that game, and have played it quite a bit. Only problem is, I was never actually able to get past the Lizard Colossus, which I don't know all their names, but I just can never get past that the giant lizard, which I call the Lizard Colossus for lack of a better name. And things about the Shadow Colossus I enjoyed was, the leveling up system was very interesting, because it's not really ever explained in depth what happens and how you level up and everything, and how you level up your stamina and health. I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't know if it's necessary, because I haven't played a lot of the, against a lot of the Colossi, but for me it helped a lot, and I guess it's just, the only reason I knew about it was because my brother told me. Because my brother is the owner of a lot of games I play and borrow and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who showed me the game and everything, and I like the leveling up system just because it's very, I don't know, there's something about it that it's very fun. And it feels very rewarding to actually level up. Like, it's not just that because you really see, oh shit, that's really good. you really see the differences in your levels. Like, unlike other games, some other games where, you know, you can level up and you just never really see the big difference that's made. In this game, you really see it, and like, it's not like the immediate thing, but after a while, you just see your health is suddenly seems so much bigger, and your stamina meter is so much bigger, and everything, and you're just like, wow, and it really makes you feel powerful. A lot like this game, actually. This game is fun, I find it, because, not, the only connection I have between this and Shadow of the Colossus is that it just makes you feel powerful. Like, and Shadow of the Colossus does it in a really interesting way in making you feel both powerful and minuscule at the same time. Because, hold up, popcorn? Ah, I think I slightly burnt that popcorn, but whatever. It makes you feel really powerful, and the fact that you look at that Colossi as it's falling, and you're like, dude, I just fucking killed that thing. And you're like, wow. It just really gives you an empowering feeling, but at the same time, it makes you feel minuscule because you realize how big that thing was at the beginning, and you're like, Jesus. Compared to the things of this world, I can be pretty damn small. And it's a really cool feeling. And that's why I really enjoy the Shadow of the Colossus. Alright, we're gonna do a RAM check. Alright, 251 millibytes out of 363 gigabytes. I can probably go for a good 2 hours. Oh jeez. I don't know. Eventually I'm just gonna run out of things to say and be like, bye guys, but anyway. But yeah, and this game does a similar thing in that it makes you just feel empowered because you look at this, Earth Fist the Thirst of Friends, because the names are just glorious of the weapons. The names are just glorious. One of the funniest parts of the game for me. Because I have Mofin's Mist Assistant Soul Stealing of Immortals and Sable's Magical Emerald Worker Pain. It looks like they just took a word randomizer and set it to the largest setting to give them a giant word and then just put it into the game. And it's glorious. It really is. But the levels of them are so in such a way that you look at that level 20 thing and you're like, well, in other games, and you think about it in other games regards, and that would be a pretty powerful weapon. But I'm turning it down because I got power 45 and 62. And it's just really cool, and all the weapon designs are really pretty cool in this game just to begin with. And there's just a lot of things I like about this game. Plus, it's a great time waster. Which is why I chose it to do this special, just because it's sort of like the game where I can mindlessly play it, so that I'm not spending all my time being focused on that instead of talking. Because what I'd planned on doing was playing Chrono Trigger. Popcorn break. Ah, much better. Makes my mouth water, which helps me speak better, I think. I don't know. I guess I made a good choice by making popcorn. Because that's my breakfast. It's currently like about 8:30 in the morning. And I'm actually very tired because I went to sleep about 1 o'clock last night, which is when I normally go to sleep. I mean, but normally I wake up at around like 10 in the afternoon, maybe even later if I have such an inclination to sleep later. Come on, let me equip it. And today I woke up at about 5:30. I woke up at 5:30, set up my computer on a new setup that I'm using, and then proceeded to clean my room for no reason, just because I couldn't record that early. Because this is what I planned on doing today. Because it's probably gonna take me all day to record this, edit this, although I'm not really gonna edit it a whole lot, but it's still gonna take a little while just to sort of convert it over from AVI into a format I can use, which I do in my editing. And so I plan on doing this all day, and so once I started recording, I planned on not having a whole lot to do today, other than in the time when I'm probably going to be uploading, because this is probably going to take quite a while to upload, because my internet speed's not the most fantastic. But really, what I'd been using earlier was I would sit on my bed, because I don't have a desk. I would sit on my bed, use the built-in mic in my laptop, and yes, I use a laptop, and record all these games I've been playing. Which is why it might seem slow, because my laptop's pretty decent. I mean, probably by laptop standards, maybe, I don't know. I think it was about $400 or so, and it's a Lenovo laptop with, I think, 2.1 gigahertz processor and about 4 gigs of RAM. So it's not super fantastic. You computer geeks out there can tell how not fantastic my computer is. I dropped a piece of popcorn. Gonna shut that right there so I can later throw it away, because my floor's pretty damn dirty. And yeah. So really, people talk about jury rigging stuff up. I was recording and doing all this in a real jury rig situation, which was me sitting on my bed recording all this and then editing it using probably one of the universally regarded as one of the worst editing softwares ever. And when you think about that, the fact that my videos aren't super fantastic just becomes a little bit more forgivable. Because you look at the stuff I'm doing, you look at the videos I make, and they're not fantastic, but then you think about the fact that I'm using one of the worst editing softwares, a mediocre laptop, and I can have a completely jury-rigged situation, they start to look slightly less shit. Oh, popcorn was a bad choice. Because when you try and talk while you're chewing the popcorn, kernels get back in your throat, and then I got a cough, which takes a break from me recording. Oh, that's irritating. Oh well. So yeah, when you think about all that, but now I have air quotes proper place to record. I mean, which consists of a desk made of a small table and a really stiff, uncomfortable chair. But, you know, I'm not willing to spend a whole lot on making videos when I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on stuff to record videos and then not have it work out, and then I'm out all that money. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should spend a little bit more. Like, I mean, I've already spent, like, I don't even know. Ow. Popcorn was not a good decision. I need a drink. Yeah, come on. Open sesame. Delicious, delicious fruit juice. But yeah, I mean, admittedly, maybe I should spend a little bit more. I could spend a little bit more, but I don't really want to, mostly because I don't have a whole lot of money to spend. I got about $100 or so left in my bank account, like $30 in my wallet. So I don't have a whole lot to spend. I certainly can't afford to get a better computer, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Jeez. But yeah, really, I mean, I would like to spend more. I would like to put out higher quality videos. I mean, because I was looking at a $500 computer, but of course, I don't have $500 to spend on that computer. But as soon as I get that $500, I would definitely buy that computer because it's actually a really good computer and will serve my needs for now until I see how big this thing is gonna get. And it's probably the biggest computer I would be willing to buy under normal circumstances, even if I wasn't doing videos. If this was under normal circumstances, I wasn't doing videos, I was just buying a computer to have a computer and to be able to play games on and everything. That's the biggest computer I would really buy. So of course, of course, if I had the money to buy it, I would definitely buy it because it would turn out a whole lot better than this computer. It would be a whole lot more professional. But until I have the money to do that, it's really just wishful thinking. And of course, you guys can always help me out with that endeavor by making my, if you tell two friends and they too tell two friends and then they too tell two friends, and then we got like 20 people right there. But yeah, really, I mean, like, I don't know how many of you subscribe to me and actually watch my stuff, but don't be scared. Don't be scared to put my name out there because I could definitely use the traffic. Because I do want this thing to. I'm not scared of having a demand on my channel. I'm not scared of having a demand for videos. I mean, I know, because I know this is a kiss of death saying this, but it doesn't really take me that long to edit and everything, and I think I would be able to, as long as I don't have too terribly much homework, I would be able to sort of keep up with, a video a day, which is what I'm keeping up with right now. Just because I usually have a lot of free time on my hand. A lot of the classes I have normally don't have homework, which is weird, I know, but whatever. So, if any of you guys who are watching, who would watch this, definitely don't be scared to put my name out there. Because, I mean, I'm not going to ask for it. That's one thing I promised myself when I made this channel was that, well, one thing I promised was that I would not ask for people to help me get recognition. I don't want to ask anyone to really help me with this. Now of course, I mean, I'm not gonna push help away because I know I could definitely use it. And I could definitely use feedback on how to make my videos better. So I'm not asking anyone to do anything. But you guys just need to not be scared to put my name out there, because I could definitely use the traffic. And if this thing gets big enough, then I could possibly invest more money into these videos, which overall would help the quality go up. So really, when you think about it, you guys putting my name out there and getting traffic to this channel can help you guys get better videos. You're helping yourselves right there. Also, don't be scared to put things in my inbox. Like, seriously, I will be willing to look at any game that comes into my inbox. Now some games I find are a bit harder to record. Like games that are full screen and aren't windowed, I find usually are harder to record. Like games that are made on the RPG Horror Maker, I tried like Yume Nikki, Ebe, Mad Father, stuff like that. I tried some of that, and I found that it was very hard to record. So unless I got a lot of asks for that from different people, I probably will avoid those games. But you know, if you guys really ask for it, then of course I will do it. Just because, you know, I'm not gonna deny you guys. But anyway. But you seriously put any game that you would want to see me play, or you know, anything like that. Just don't be scared to drop it in my inbox, because I will definitely check it out, and I will definitely try and record and play it if I find it possible, and if I feel like it. Because you know, if a game is an exceptionally bad or exceptionally good game, then I will definitely do a recording on it. And if it's meh, then I'll definitely tuck it away for later. You know, possibly if there's a slow day, I might do a recording on it, and you know. But seriously, you guys need to not be scared to talk to me. And I know there aren't many people who watch this channel and subscribe to this channel, but you know, I'm hopeful that someday, cheers to this, I might get slightly more recognition for this. That's all I really want. I mean, the money would be, you know, sort of secondhand. Now, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting paid to do this, because that would be pretty awesome, and I would be able to spend much more time actually making these videos for you guys. But really, even if I didn't get paid for it, I still would do this, because I enjoy doing this. And that's why you might think, well, why are you gonna do this if not a lot of people are watching your channel or watch your channel? And it's because, well, one, I have a philosophy that you expect the worst but hope for the best. I don't expect this channel to get big. I'm not like, oh man, if this channel doesn't get big, then I'm gonna give up on everything. I'm gonna be so upset. I'll hate everything ever. I'm not like that. I'm like, well, if I don't get big, then whoop-de-doo. You know, I'm just gonna be glad. I'm gonna choose to be glad that I have the followers that I have, rather than moping about the followers that I could have. And so, really, now of course, I would wish that I could have a popular channel. I mean, I would really like to get some I would really like to get that kind of recognition for doing all this, and to sort of get some appreciation through the form of people actually watching my videos, because that's enough appreciation for me. I'm like, wow, I would be like, wow, people actually watch my videos, must mean I'm doing a marginally good job, you know. But that's just me. I've always had a sort of an optimistic look on life. Now, popcorn break. Ah, ah, ah. Yeah, I think popcorn's starting to slightly go stale. Well, but yeah, that's enough ranting about that for a little bit. Really, all I wanted to do was just tell you guys that you shouldn't be scared to, you know, tell people about my channel. And I'm not telling you to go advertise on channel, because that's another thing I promised never to do. I swore to myself when I made this channel that I would not advertise on any other popular channel. I swore to myself that I would not do that, and I've held up to that. I have not advertised on any other channels yet, and I don't plan on it unless something calls for me to do so. I will not advertise on another channel. I don't know why. It's just it's like a personal thing where I personally I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel like getting hate by people I don't know for advertising on other people's channels just because, you know, I'm trying to do something that I enjoy. You know. Now, I mean, if a person's gonna give me hate based on the job I'm doing, then that's fine. I mean, I can take criticism, constructive criticism, namely. But if they're just gonna hate on me just because I go and I try and get popular and try and, you know, get some recognition for the fact that I'm doing this, well, I don't want that. So I want to avoid advertising on other people's channels as much as I can. So seriously, you guys, just don't be scared to give me game ideas, and don't be scared to start telling people about me. Because I know I might not be the best at this. I know people might think I'm damn terrible at this, because I haven't quite gotten into the rhythm of being able to talk for long periods of time, you know, unless it's mumbling and saying rants to myself. So, and I know I don't have the best jokes because, well, I haven't really gotten into the groove of doing this yet. And I know it's sort of one of those things where either you got it or you don't. But, oh, whatever. That's enough of a rant about that. Here. What's one of the questions I was asked? Alright. Got another one. Favorite game series. Now, that's a little dynamic of that question's a little dynamic because there are certain things I like. When I get asked favorite game series, first thing that would come to mind would be Final Fantasy. But then I think about it more and I realize, you know, I really do. I enjoy fantasy RPGs, which is kind of why I started work on my own fantasy RPG using RPG Maker, which is a lot of work, let me tell you. And if I get enough done, I might decide to show it off a little bit, just because, you know, I want to. And it's a lot of work, let me tell you. I think I've worked on it about 2 days. You know, a few hours a day. I've been dabbling on and off with it, and I think I've gotten 11 maps done. And if anyone out there who's actually developed an RPG or games like it will know that 11 maps is not that much. I mean, considering this is just the beginning of the game. I've just gotten done the beginning, sort of overworld. I've gotten done the, sort of town. I've gotten done an inn, a blacksmith. I've gotten done 2 areas of woods, a secret grove, and a crater. Which the crater didn't turn out really well, and I'm probably going to change the name because it doesn't really look like a crater. Map-wise, that's what I've gotten done, and it's taken me hours. Like, I think first day I worked on it about 4 hours after I got the game installed, after I got the thing installed and everything. It's set up properly. So, you know, and then the second day I probably worked on another 2 or 3 hours. So, approximately 7 hours of work to do 11 maps and some programming. Which I've programmed just some interactive terrain, you know, just so that whenever you go up to something and you click the action button, you know, it tells you what it is, and it tells you like a sort of description kind of thing. I've done that for the entire basement, and I think some of the none of the inn. Really just the basement, although the basement's completely done. The basement's done. And you know, that's taken me 7 hours. You know, admittedly I'm one man, so I mean, one man always, you know, it's gonna take a lot longer for one man to do something rather than a whole team of programmers and designers. But that's the thing I love about indie games, is that with indie games you don't have a ton of like you don't have a ton of budget, and you don't have a ton of people telling you what you need to put. You don't have a group of people in suits saying, okay, you're taking us our money to make this game, you have to have this, 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 and this in it. And you can't you have to go along this path, and you can't deviate from it at all. And that's what ruins games, I feel. Is that it's too mechanical. Like, you just need to let people be creative. Like, I mean, I know I've played quite a few RPGs. I mean, I don't play online MMOs or anything. I never was a big fan of online MMOs, which people find weird for some reasons. It's the grinding on online MMOs that is what really does it for me. It's annoying. But grinding for games like Final Fantasy X, I don't find as annoying for whatever reason. Maybe it's the really visible changes in levels you get in Final Fantasy X or something like that. I don't know. Ooh. Gotta crack my knuckles. Oh man. How far are we in? Almost 50 minutes. Woo. We're taking a little break until 5:50, so I can eat a little bit of popcorn. Or until 5 o'clock. 50 minutes. Jesus, can't talk. Whew. Alright, back into this fray. And now, so really, yeah, that's why I prefer indie games over big budget games like console games. Really, it's just because you can tell the relationship between the designers and the budget people. It's just so stilted. It's just uncomfortable. Like, the designers are so afraid to tiptoe into a creative zone because they know the designers are probably going to be like, hey, yo, we don't like this, change it. And then they gotta throw away all their work, and they're like, well, I was trying to be creative, I was trying to go with what I wanted to do, and they're like, no, you have to do what we want to do, you have to do it this way, you have to do it exactly this way, and if you do it any other way, then we won't give you any money to make this game. And it ruins it. Which is why I like games that are made with, like, you know, a group of friends can make a great game and be creative while doing it. Now, I mean, admittedly, the graphics aren't going to be super fantastic because it doesn't have any budget, but that doesn't have to take away from the game. And a game can be still be a good game as long as it's creative to make up for graphics. And it doesn't work the other way around. Hell no. If you try and use graphics to make up for crappy gameplay, it's not going to be a good game. Trust me. Popcorn. I'm really hungry right now, so I probably should have eaten before this, but screw it. But yeah, really, you know, with some of the dialogue I've already written in this game that I'm making, I know if I had a group of designers that had given me a ton of money and said, alright, now make a game. Make your game The Adventures of William Kingsley, which is what I have as the name of my game currently. I know it's not the greatest name. I'm still thinking about it. I did this as a placeholder of the name just because I can't think of one right now. Think of one that's super fantastic. And really, I mean, admittedly, it's not gonna be super fantastic, because I mean, it's the first game I've ever made, literally the first game I've ever made. So of course it's not gonna be super fantastic. But I might show off what I have done after a little while, which I don't know how much is gonna be because it's hard to get motivated about working on it when working on it can get so frustrating. Oh Jesus, does it get frustrating? But it's really kind of fun at the same time, because it's really the sense of seeing what was once an area of blue squares, because in that designer the background is just different shades of blue squares, you know, in a checkerboard pattern, and seeing what was that turned into a map with grass and hills and, you know, an overworld with mountains and houses and everything. And, you know, it's really satisfying to see the game start to take shape in some sense, and it's just really fun. But at the same time, really mind-numbing, the programming. Because, you know, you gotta add the face graphics, you gotta add the text, which you can copy and paste, but it still takes a while to add events that say, you know, the text. It still gets very mind-numbing. Which is why I had to take breaks every like hour or so. I would have to take a break just to get my mind back in the right place, because oh my god, I would turn into a zombie if I did that for too long. which, you know, it probably gets easier to do as you do it more, but you know, nothing's ever super easy when you start out, as you can see from me. I mean, you look at some of my earlier videos and you know, they were kind of crap. And I mean, my videos are still crap, but slightly more polished, slightly better crap. It smells slightly better. Something, I don't fucking know. Really, it's... But anyway, I've gotten sidetracked. What I would have to say, my favorite, as my favorite game series would probably have to be the Legend of Zelda series. As you can probably see from the fact that I've got a Legend of Zelda shirt, a Legend of Zelda wall scroll, I've got Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask for the GameCube and N64. I've got a Skyward Sword. I've got Legend of Zelda, the first one, the very original NES game. I've got The Adventures of Link. And that's pretty much and I've got Wind Waker. And that's most of what I have as far as Zelda games goes. Some of those copies actually do belong to my brother, but in fact I think most of them do. So really, I'm a Zelda fan. As you can probably tell, I'm a Zelda fan. I haven't played a lot of the handheld games, just because I haven't gotten really a chance to. I think my brother has Minish Cap for the... I think he has Minish Cap. I can't remember. But really, I haven't been able to play a whole lot of the handheld games, but most of the console games I've played. And most of them I've beaten. Wind Waker, beaten it. Ocarina of Time, I've beaten. Twilight Princess, I've beaten. I think Twilight Princess I've beaten multiple times. Let's see, what else? Skyward Sword I've definitely beaten. I've beaten on both modes that come available. And one thing that people that surprises people when I tell them is I love Skyward Sword. Like, everyone always complains about the fact that the Wii motion controls can't handle the sword play and it's so boring and not good. No, it's not. I never found that the sword control in Skyward Sword was bad. I found it pretty damn good. Maybe it's the difference in Wii remotes, whatever. I found that game, the Wii motion tracking, everything, I just found it to be fantastic. And everyone says that that game was the ruined one, and that it was the worst game of all of them. It was the worst game of all of them. And it's like, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't. But, you know, that might just be a personal opinion. I mean, I personally love Skyward Sword. I love it. I mean, probably not as much as, like, Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Although Majora's Mask has recently gotten much harder to play ever since I read the Ben Drowned creepypasta. Oh yeah, that creepypasta ruined that game for me. Oh my god. I know it's supposed to be fake, but still, I can't help... Hold up, drink. I can't help feeling like the second I turn on my version of Majora's Mask on the N64 or for the GameCube, that I'm just gonna see profiles saying Ben drowned, and then I'm gonna die a horrible flaming death while demons rip apart my soul or some shit like that. and it kind of freaks me out. I've never been really good with creepypastas. I've never been good with horror in general. Hey! I just looked up and realized we've been recording for 1 hour. Officially 1 hour of recording. How long the video is at right now, I don't know, because I'm probably gonna have to edit it down just a tad at the beginning. Because, okay, pro tip, I learned this from my friend Josh, and it kind of makes sense, but what you always want to do is, if you're recording, you always record slightly longer. If you're not editing it at all, if you're not editing out any of it, you always need to record slightly longer than what you're going to have your video be. You're going to have to start recording at the beginning, wait a few seconds, then start talking, then at the end, wait a few seconds, then stop recording. Just because that way you can go back and it gives you some room to edit, and it gives you some room to edit, and it just gives you some room to maneuver in your editing. And of course, if you don't need it, then it's easy to edit out. Like, it's just as simple as for me, because I use, and I know I'm gonna get some crap for this, I use Windows Live Movie Maker. I know, Windows Live Movie Maker, it's the worst. Oh god, it's sinful. Hold up your crosses, everyone. It works for what I need, and it's free on my computer, so I use it. I'm not gonna spend a ton of money on an editing processor or an editing software. I mean, it works for what I need. And it makes it just that much more impressive when I tell people I use it. They're like, well, you got some decently nice videos. I mean, the editing isn't too terrible, so for Windows Live Movie Maker, that's not bad, you know. And so yeah, it really works for what I use, for what I need, and I know how to use it, so it's very user friendly for me, which is good because I don't know a whole lot about editing and stuff like that. So yeah, I can just go up, and if I have a bit I wanted to edit out, I can just, you know, split video and edit it out, and it's all good. Which is good because, you know, if I was using a big, weird, confusing mess of a editing software, then I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Ah, jeez. I'm starting to get stuff stuck in my throat. And my throat is just starting to hurt more because I've been talking for so long. Oh my god. I'm gonna look back on this and just say I spent over an hour recording for a video for YouTube. What am I doing with my life? But anyway. And it was the weirdest thing explaining to my dad what I was doing. Because my dad, he's on the internet, but not really on YouTube or anything. So he doesn't really know what Let's Plays are. And so when I mentioned it on my Facebook that I was doing a Let's Play channel, and he came up to me, he's like, what is this about a Let's Play channel you're doing? What the fuck is that? Basically. And I had to explain to my dad about, you know, recording videos for YouTube and how I've been doing it and stuff like that. And it was awkward to explain to a guy that doesn't quite understand what I was talking about. I mean, I'm not saying he's like an old man who doesn't know anything about the internet or anything. I'm not saying that. He's actually really cool for a dad. But, you know, it's just, he doesn't really understand a whole lot. He wouldn't understand a whole lot about, you know, recording and stuff like that. So it was really awkward to explain. Especially today when I told him that for a good hour and a half to possibly even 2 hours I was going to be completely unavailable because I was recording. Yeah. But, alright. Let's see, is there anything else I need to... Let's see, what else? What's the weirdest thing to ever happen to me? This is a story. Once well, okay, that's an explanation. My father and my mother split up when I was young. And my mother would get me every like weekend or so, or every other weekend, or just really whenever I wanted to go over there, I could just tell my dad I wanted to go over there, and he'd be like, whatever. You know, it was really cool. They were really cool with each other. They stayed friends, and it was all really cool. And it went a lot better than other divorces that could have happened. You know, I know it went a lot better than other divorces could have gone. It went a lot better than it could have gone, really. And one weekend, drink, when I was over at my mom's house, she had to go to work, and usually whenever she had to go to work, I would chill around our house, or not our house, the house where she lived, and I would play video games, or you know, just hang out until she got back, and we would hang out and talk and everything, and just do mother and son stuff. And so today I was like, hey mom, can I come to work with you? And she's like, well, whatever, you know, if you want to. She's like, you'll have to end up hanging out by yourself. And I mean, I was old enough that I felt comfortable hanging out around a store while my mom worked. I mean, I could easily just go and find her if something went wrong or whatever. And I was hanging out, and I ended up in the parking lot. And a man came up to me, and like he didn't threaten me or anything, but he was waving around a drumstick, and he had half a coconut on his head. And he started talking, and I couldn't really quite understand him. It was like he was speaking English, but like he was speaking English in such a way that I just could not understand what the fuck he was talking about. And he was waving around, and he was just standing there waving around this drumstick with half a coconut on his head and an I Heart Math t-shirt on. And, you know, had torn up jeans and everything. It was pretty obvious that he was homeless and possibly mentally disabled. Or mentally, not disabled, mentally handicapped or something like that. And I sincerely hope he's sought help since this happened. And it's not like he really approached me, but he was sort of walking along and sort of passed by me and looked at me and gave me this weird stare, and then kept walking and kept battling on about something or another. I think I heard something about aliens or something like that. And I have to say that was one of the weirdest situations ever. And it's incredibly weird for me to tell people, because I just tell them, they can ask me, what's the weirdest thing that ever happened to you? And I'll be like, well, this one time a man came up to me and started babbling about aliens while waving around a drumstick with a coconut on his head and a I Heart Math t-shirt on. And people just give me the weirdest looks, which I can understand. But it was kind of funny, really. Although I do sincerely hope that he sought mental help. Because it was pretty obvious that he was mentally handicapped. Did a bunch of chests just spawn in? Weird. Anyway. Yeah, I have to say, that was one of the weirdest shit things that's ever happened to me. I mean, I never really mentioned it to anyone, for the most part, just because it seemed like a harmless enough thing. It's not like it was hurting anything. It was just, you know, weird. And I expect that by now someone has figured out about him, or has, you know, come across him and sought and helped him get to someplace that can help him. So, don't think I'm a bad person or anything, because I'm not. I'm not a bad person, I swear. All those videos where I killed tons of people, those were all fake. They were in your mind. There's a glitch in the Matrix. But, yeah. That's really the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. It was really kind of freaky. Alright, kill these guys. Then I can look on my page again. Oh, I'm gonna look around a little bit. Come on. See what I can talk about next. Weirdest thing I've ever found in my parents' weirdest thing I've ever found in my parents' bedroom. This might be a little weird if anyone I know watches this. Which someone I know might watch this. So this might get a little weird. But one time when I was a little younger, I don't know why, but I enjoyed just like walking around and exploring my house for some reason. I like to walk around and act like I was exploring my house. I was a little adventurer. And I spent a lot of time in my parents' bedroom just because I always went digging through their closet, and I always found something new, interesting, well, something new that I found interesting, like a hat, like a fedora. I found tons of fedoras because my dad liked fedoras for some reason. And one time, I mean, this isn't like anything that's exceptionally bad or anything. It's just like it hints at something bad. Because what I found was a pair of fuzzy handcuffs. And I looked at them and I went, that's weird, why would they have handcuffs? And I tossed them away because my childlike mind hadn't quite processed the fact that, oh my god, what could they possibly be using those for? And I found a small plastic ball and chain. So I told my friends about it, and it wasn't until I told them that I realized, you know, how weird that was that I found those. Because they started making jokes about my parents playing cops and robbers, which scarred me mentally for life. And I apologize to anyone that I know that watches this. But anyway, that's done with. Let's not dwell on that. Alright, here. Alright, well, this question's just stupid. It says, what's the worst thing I've ever done when I was drunk? Which is kind of a stupid thing to ask, because I've never really been drunk. I mean, I've had alcohol before. I've had alcohol before. I'm not new to alcohol. I'm not an alcohol virgin. I mean, I've had, like, once over at my friend's house, we found a bottle of whiskey and drank it. I mean, once over at my friend's house, we found a keg of Heineken and drank a little bit of that. Another time, I had a bottle of Heineken because my mom let me have it at a ranch. When I was hanging out with my friend Aaron. Another time, I mean, I've had a little can of beer, you know, just occasional drinks that, you know, where your parents are just like, you know what, have a drink, whatever, I don't really care. You know, my mom's always been really cool like that. My dad was always really adamant on not drinking, especially around him. And I mean, I've never been a heavy drinker. I expect that I never will be a heavy drinker. I don't want to be a real heavy drinker. Ah, shit. Because I've seen people who drink heavily and they get weird, and I don't want to do that. So I never expect to be a heavy drinker. And I think I've never actually been full on drunk. I mean, I've had small amounts of liquor and, you know, like a beer at a time, like once or twice, and that's about it. I mean, I've never really been full on drunk, but and I've never really done anything I've never really drank heavily enough that it would actually result in me doing something weird, really. Okay, hold up. I want to check on how much I've used. Alright, I am almost using I'm using about 942 millibytes for an hour of video. So I have very nearly I think very nearly a gigabyte, maybe, I don't know. Oh man, my eyes are getting heavy. I woke up way too early today. But yeah, I've never really drunk heavily enough to do something weird, and I've never really drunk heavily enough to get drunk, you know. So that was kind of a stupid question, but I don't know. It's harmless enough. I don't have any more questions. It would have seemed. But I do apologize about all the coughing. I didn't realize how bad popcorn would be for this, because it's very hard to talk at the same time as having popcorn in your mouth. But yeah, and I've always been sort of like, if it seems like I'm really unprofessional with this, it's because I am. I've always been very unprofessional with this. I don't want to be like a professional kind of person. I don't want this to feel like work, because work sucks. And I don't want this to suck for me. I don't want this to feel sucky. I want this to feel fun. I want this to be a fun thing that I can do. And if I get paid for it, then fine. If not, then, you know, when I get a real job, when I move out, I might need to stop this, because, well, it's hard. It would be hard to support a real job and keep doing this in a manner that's timely, you know. So really, if this hasn't gotten big enough for me to get partnered or start getting paid for videos by the time I need to move out and start thinking about a job or career and stuff, then I'll definitely start like probably winding down, which is all the more reason for you guys to tell me to spread the word. You know, get my name out there, because the more popular I get, the more chance I have of making money, and the more chance I have of making money, the better chance I have of finally being able to, you know, afford a better computer, possibly buy a better editing software, you know, stuff like that. And I'll be able to afford buying actual console games on the PC off of Steam, because I do have a Steam, but I don't have any money to buy games off of Steam. And oh, one other question I've been asked quite often is why I don't use fraps. I'll tell you why I don't use fraps. Because fraps makes my computer like crap. And even if I can get it running, even if I could get fraps running at a decent frame rate, it uses so much memory that by now, by how much I've done, which is a little over an hour, about an hour and 20 minutes, I would have used all my memory by now, recording with fraps. And it might be higher quality, but my computer just can't handle it, because like I said, my computer's a pretty mediocre laptop, which I hope to upgrade at some point, but, you know, whatever. Alright, we've finished with Dungeon 20. I'm starting to run out of things to say, so I'm going to call this video here. That's a little over an hour and a half. This has been sort of like, in a way, this has been a test. A test to see how long I can go making commentary. And it's been a pretty good test, really, I have to say. It's sort of like your training test kind of thing, I don't know. But it was also a special, just sort of to get a lot of commentary in there, test how much I can talk, you know. It was sort of a lot of things. And it was also telling everyone about how school is coming up. It's not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, on Thursday, I start school. And at that point, I will be gone all day, and I won't get back until about 4 o'clock, which is when I'll be able to record and possibly edit and upload that night. So, to all the people who watch, and to everyone who joins and sees this video, you'll have to tune in. Until next summer, tune in at the night, and I'll hopefully get a video out every day, if not every other day. I've been John, aka Jalex Gamer, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!